Alright, YouTube, this is just a little video to keep you guys preoccupied while we're kind of in this little area of no videos for just a little while. We'll have some videos, like I said in my previous update, uploaded relatively soon. But I thought I'd show you, these are two of my ball pythons, a normal and a pastel. This is my little 08 pastel. So you can see she's just super small in comparison to Bali. Bali's my big normal right here. You guys can see her. She's really pretty. Beautiful little girl. She just shed today, actually a few hours ago. So she's got really nice coloration right now. She's really pretty. And then here's the big old guy. And then these two are pretty friendly together. I don't recommend housing them together. Don't ever house snakes together. I just have these two out right now on it's a little towel. This is just kind of what I do to make sure that the snakes are healthy. I will use Q-tips to open up their mouth and check if there are any bubbles around the lips, within their throat, and that sort of thing. You'll see, when you open up their mouth, you will see a few little bubbles just in there, just around the throat area, especially if you have the Q-tip on their lower jaw and you're pushing down. I don't know, for some reason it just pushes up a little bit of saliva. It's not any harm. It's not bad. The real thing is, if you see any saliva around the nasal cavity, and I'll get to that in a minute, I'll show you guys the inside of the mouth and all the important parts. So I got my little camera set up on the tripod, and we're on this table here. So we'll go ahead and show you on the smaller snake. If you're not comfortable using the Q-tip to open up a snake's mouth, only use one Q-tip per snake. Don't swap saliva between snakes. It's just not a good idea. You want to use one Q-tip per individual snake. So I have this Q-tip for Bali or Tigger or whatever you want to do. This one is little pastel Tigger, and this one is Bali. You want to use one Q-tip per each snake. You don't want to slap their saliva. They could get diseases or that sort of thing. They're not meant to, you know, swap spit like humans are. Oh, I don't know if they are meant to. It's just fun as hell. Anywho, if you're not comfortable opening up their mouth, one thing that you can do, and this is what a lot of people do that I know, is you secure them by the head, and you just pull down that lower lip like that, just a little bit. Just kind of with your thumb, just pull that down a little bit, and get a good look inside of there, and see if you see any bubbles in there. And with her, I don't see anything. She's 100%. There's no bubbles and nothing like that. You can check the other side too. Doesn't look like there's anything inside of there. So that looks good. Then here we'll go ahead and show you just how I do this. You will feel on the side of their head. If I can get a good angle of this, right here and right here, there are two little bones right here on the side of the head, and those are the two bones that will that kind of control the lower jaw. They continue all the way down to right in this area, and you can see right here this little slit. That's where their skin actually separates when they are feeding. So their skin will separate right there, and their jaw dislocates right in this area right here. So it goes right up there. Alright, so here's how I do it. I grab on the two sides of the head, like I said, just like that. Let camera focus in. Hello. Yeah, right there. So then we just go ahead, get her head positioned like that. I'll get the Q-tip, and see that little area that I have just opened up from pushing? I'll get the Q-tip sideways. You don't want to get the cotton part there, because what will happen is it'll get caught on her teeth. You want to put it right in there and just kind of maneuver it right on in there, and there you go. Alright, so let's get a good look in there. You see this that little noodly looking thing that's opening up right there? That is actually the trachea of the snake. It's right above my Q-tip right there. You guys can see that? And that goes right into that little cavity right up there at the top of that jaw. If the camera will focus, that would be stupendous. There we go. Right at the top of that, on her upper jaw, there is a hole. The trachea will go into there, and that's that nasal cavity. Alright, right up here, right above the Q-tips, those two little cavities, that is called the Jacobson's organ. That's where the two prongs of the tongue go when they pick up particles in the air. So that's pretty much where everything is. When you look in that nasal cavity, if you see any bubbles in that area or any globbed up snot or mucus or anything that looks solidified within there, it's not a good sign. It can mean a number of things. Respiratory infection, pneumonia, which respiratory infection and pneumonia are generally the same thing. You want their mouths to look nice and pink like that. If they're discolored and they look just not right, if they look really, really white or really, really pale or, you know, purple and that sort of thing, it's not a good sign, especially in the younger ones. They have much more pink mouths when they're young like this. Now, on the other hand, so this is the Q-tip I just used for Tigger, the pastel. Get her tail unwrapped from the tripod. There you go. There you go. Sit over here. There you go, honey. Now, on the other hand, here's Bali. He's bigger, and his mouth is actually easier to open because I can handle him a little bit more rough. So, same exact scenario. I actually kind of I gotta just get around here like this. He's harder to deal. He's stronger, so it's harder to get him into that position. Focus. There we go. I don't know why. I have to put my hand behind it for it to focus. Alright, so there. And we'll just go ahead and maneuver it on in there. And it's the same deal. You'll see that trachea right there. It won't open up. Just give it a couple of seconds. Right there. Sorry, it's kind of noisy in here. You hear that little bubbling noise. That's the dishwasher. So you can see deep in that throat right there, there is not surprisingly any bubbles. There is trachea just open there. So not any bubbles, that sort of deal. Hey, Squappy. You know what? I spoke too soon. This is too hard to do on him. He's much more difficult because he's bigger and stronger, and yeah. But you could tell he's perfectly healthy. Just by his mouth. It's got a nice pink coloration, and you can just look right in that throat if it feels like focusing. Yeah. There, that looks good. Nice and pink. Oh, don't push the camera off. Oh, and then there he goes, biting the Q-tip. Yeah, I see ya. Alright, so we'll go ahead and pull out the other Q-tip, and we'll try to get a little bit better footage. Another thing is right along the edges of the trachea on either side. It's not such a good thing if you see too many bubbles on the side. And I'm talking big bubbles that if you touch them, they're viscous, and they're viscous meaning that they're thick, and you touch them and they kind of, if you like, you know, put your fingers on there and then you like spread them apart, it'll stick, and you'll make like a little bridge, I guess you could say, of mucus. That's the sort of stuff you don't want. This is just like water. It's just saliva. So you can see here, you don't want too much stuff on either side of their trachea. Then right up here in that nasal cavity, hey, don't bite. Right up there in that nasal cavity, focus. I don't want to stress these guys out too much. There we are, that nasal cavity right below the Q-tip. Right there, you don't want anything in there. It's a little bit easier to see if you're the one doing it. Okay, whip around, why don't you? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just periodically check that. It's really one of the best things you can do. Show you again on Bali, just his lips. Right there. Just pull down his lip. You can see those little teeth right there too. So that's not. These two are my healthy snakes. Allie and Sniper are actually 100% healthy as far as I can see. I have a few more injections, maybe like 2 more injections left. I'm just going to give it to them soon. So that's pretty much it. Oh, one more thing. Check inside of their nose too. Their nose is located right at the bottom of those 2 little stripes right there. You could see that right there. Get my Q-tip. It's right above the Q-tip. Those 2 little holes right above the Q-tip there, that is the nose. And you can check inside of there with a light to see if there's any mucus or bubbles or any backup stuff. And a lot of times after they shed, they'll have a little piece of shed stuck in there. And that's not to worry. You might hear a little wheezing out of there, but you can actually, what I've done actually before is get some really small pliers and plucked it on out of there. So that's all the time that I got, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.